This video isn't your typical dry legal lecture. Nope. Through some light-hearted storytelling, you're going to find out how some overly controlling landowners try to use estate planning techniques to maintain control in death as they did in life. On the flip side, we'll explain the legal safeguards in place that prevent deceased individuals from unreasonably controlling their estate, and even controlling their family members from the great beyond. In the end, hopefully you'll see that while, sure, you can't take it with you, you can definitely leave a legacy behind that's worth talking about. So let's get started. Picture this: an old-school land baron on his deathbed, still trying to control his vast empire in the last moments of his life by frantically updating his will and signing documents that ensure his land is never sold to anyone outside of his family. But there's a problem. He only has 3 daughters and has absolutely no intention on giving them the keys to his kingdom. So instead, he decides to bequeath his entire estate to his first male grandchild born to any of his 3 daughters who marries into a wealthy Mormon family. Sounds like something out of a movie, right? Well, it's not too far from reality. Let's gather round for a brief history lesson and learn some background about the rule against perpetuities, a legal doctrine that might sound like a complete snorefest. But trust me, it's got a juicy backstory. Now, what is the rule and why does it exist? As we mentioned, our land baron has lands aplenty and he wants his future bloodline to enjoy his estate without interference from anyone. Entailment was a legal mechanism that he could use to prevent his estate from being sold, divided, or bequeathed outside of his direct familial line. This was often tied with the principle of primogeniture, where the eldest son inherited the entire estate, keeping the land within the family and maintaining the family's social-economic status across generations. However, our land baron only has daughters, therefore primogeniture is not an option. And while the wealthy land baron's narrow intentions were clear, the law has a broader view that seeks to prevent assets from being tied up indefinitely or in perpetuity. Hence, the rule against perpetuities limits the land baron's control of property to a span of 21 years after a living person's death. And that living person, the grandchild, must have been identified at the time the will is made, which of course he can't be because he wasn't born yet. Therefore, the rule invalidates the land baron's will and his estate is divided equally among his daughters. The rule seeks to promote fairness, which it did by going against the dying wishes of the land baron and in favour of his daughters so that their future generations could have a shot at shaping their own destinies. Now that we've established the land baron's limits on maintaining absolute control over his estate after he was dead, let's delve into the law's view on his attempt to exert his influence over his daughters from beyond the grave. Because remember, he wanted his daughters to marry into a wealthy Mormon family. Welcome to the world of what's referred to legally as capricious devices. Imagine a will that rewards you for good behavior, staying clear of vices like drugs and alcohol perhaps. It sounds beneficial, right? But swing the pendulum the other way, and we encounter a murkier realm. What if your inheritance came with strings attached to whom you should marry? Here's the catch. While the law lets you leave your mark, it draws a line at dictating personal lives, insisting that an heir marry within a certain race or faith. That's where courts may step in, declaring, "This won't do." It's a balance, really. The scales of justice weigh a testator's wishes against the ideals of personal freedom and societal norms. The verdict? Your legacy can inspire the future, sure. But control it, especially with conditions that tangle with discrimination or personal choices? That's a no-go. Legally speaking, it goes against public policy. So there you have it. 2 forms of post-mortem control that are sure to bring legal challenges if a will or trust isn't drafted correctly by a competent estate attorney. Understanding that your legacy is as much about letting go as it is about holding on is crucial to ensuring that your final wishes are respected and that your heirs can benefit from your estate without undue burden. I hope you enjoyed our brief history lesson and subscribe to our channel or visit us on the web at eternallylegal.com.